Everyone, welcome back to Sweet Yellow House. This is Trisha, and I have some projects here for you today. I have 5, some good thrift flips, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. So let's get started. Project 1 I purchased from the Goodwill, and it's like a little box type thing. I thought it was like a trash can at first, but I'm not sure what it is, but it has this cute little bird painting on it, but I wanted to give it a refresh. So I started out by just wiping it down with a wet cloth, and I'm just getting all the dust and stuff off of it. I noticed at the end the corner of the lid was frayed a little bit, so I grabbed my Titebond and I'm just going to put some glue on the corner there and then use a clamp to kind of glue that back together so all the little frayed edges are glued down. So I'm gonna set that aside to dry for a little bit and then move on to the bottom piece. So I grabbed the DIY Salvation Solution. This is, I think, maybe just the second time I've used this, so I wanted to give it another go, and because this looks kind of old and I didn't know if I was going to have some stuff popping through there still, so I just gave this I gave it actually a 2 coat with the Salvation Solution, letting it dry between each coat. I did actually do the inside of the box as well, and I also did the lid, the top and the bottom of the lid. I like the Salvation Solution. I think it does a really good job at covering. I guess it is necessary in some of those instances. So once that primer coat was done, I grabbed Hey Sailor from DIY, and I'm gonna pour a little out here and also add some water. I just felt it was a little thick, just to thin it out a little bit, and mix that up, and I am going to start doing my coats here. I did about probably 2 coats, 2.5 coats with this, just because I wanted full coverage. I didn't want any kind of streaking or lighter parts on there, so I did 2 really good coats, letting dry between each coat, and then I just touched up where I needed to touch up at. Normally I'm not a blue color person, but I really like this color. It's a really nice blue, and it almost, you could use it as, like a really nice background, is what I did here. I did paint the inside of the bottom part as well. Once that was dry, I grabbed Big Top, and I actually did 2 coats on the top and the bottom, inside as well, just making sure that everything was covered over. If someone wanted to use this as a trash can, I just wanted to make sure that it was able to withstand that and be able to be wiped down if it needed. I didn't really want this to have a shiny coat a shiny look finish to it, but I couldn't remember which one was going to give me that kind of matte, more matte looking. So, but it came out in the end all right, so I'm okay with that. So I painted 2 coats, let that dry between each coat, and then I let it dry completely. I grabbed the new IOD transfers, and I don't even know if Collage des Fleurs, I believe, and I just went through this picking out some images that I think I would like. So I always cut more than I need, just because I never know how I'm going to place things. I don't normally plan that out ahead of time, which I probably should, but I normally don't. I just kind of run with it. So I start placing those where I think I would like them, and everybody has seen this with the transfer. You just use the stick and rub the transfer, and it transfers to your item. I, for some reason, wasn't having a whole lot of luck with this little transfer stick in some places for some reason, and then I just started using my thumbnail, and it seemed as though it was transferring better for me. You want to make sure that whatever finishing coat that you're using these transfers on is very dry, or else you're going to risk pulling up that transfer and the paint underneath. I like how vibrant the flowers look against the blue. I think it just pops. It just makes it look so vibrant and beautiful. Once I got all the transfers placed where I wanted them, I used my Jolie finishing wax, and now I'm going to go over the transfers and everything here, and that's actually going to pull that shine from that big top coat back down, so it is going to give it more of a matte look. So I just grabbed a little lint-free cloth and just kind of buffed that in too at the end, and that's how that turned out. I think you could use this even for, you know, not a trash can, but even just a really beautiful box to put, you know, I thought about using it next to my fireplace to put kindling in, or even you know, using it in the kitchen to just kind of store little things in and leave it out on the counter would be really nice. But I think it came out gorgeous with the vibrant colors of the flowers and the nice blue color that was there. So project 2, I think I Facebook Marketplace this. It looked like someone had let their kids use it to store their craft stuff in. I again grabbed my Salvation solution and started to go over this project, and I will say that it was not working for me. I did 4 coats trying to cover up certain parts of these colors, and it just would not. So I grabbed the Rust-Oleum and I did do a final spray all over that to kind of seal that in. Then I grabbed the new Jamie Ray Vintage DIY Provincial, and I'm going to do about 3 good coats over this whole thing, just so that I can make sure that I'm covering up those colors that were still seeping through there. I really like this color. It's like kind of like between a beige and a gray. I think it's a nice neutral color, and it was very streaky the first coat, but after you get that down, then you know the paint that comes, the layers that come after that are easier, and it starts to come together. this took quite a bit of time to paint by hand, I will say. If I had the color that I wanted in kind of like a spray paint, I probably would have opted to do that first. I will say that this was the longest project I had, so just painting it. So after that was dry, I grabbed the melange inlay from IOD, and I just start picking out some designs that I like. I did have 2 of these, so I grabbed the one that I hadn't opened yet and just picked out some doubles because I wanted to do the same design on either side. So now I'm gonna put down some wet paint again in the same color, the Provence, and I'm gonna place my inlays. I did try a new technique with spraying the paint first, the inlay first. On this one I did not, but then I remembered that I wanted to give that a go. So here I placed it, sprayed it, and then did my normal press down. But here you'll see I will start actually spraying it before I lay it down, and I will say this actually helps a lot. It makes the inlay lay down so much easier. You're not pushing out a bunch of air bubbles. It just seemed like it was so much easier for me to get it to do what I wanted it to do and lay where I wanted it to lay. So I think from now on I'm going to do my transfers this way. I will have to say too that I wanted to make sure that all of that detail was coming out. I didn't really want any skipped pieces of this, so I wanted to make sure that I had it down really good. So once I got all those placed, I let it dry, and then I went back with my spray bottle, my Mr. bottle, and started to wet those inlays. This has a built-in top coat. I feel like when I use a paint that has a built-in top coat, it's harder for me to pull that transfer off because that paint is really not reactivated by water. So I just had to take a little more time, a little more patience, and be a little more gentler when I was pulling those off, because they do have a tendency to rip a little bit easier when you're pulling that hard to get it off of there. That's just my own experience. It just seems like it's a little tougher to get off with that, or maybe I'm just letting it dry too much. I don't know. So there, I'm just showing you the shot of everything, and the transfers came out really good. All of the details were there, or the inlays, I'm sorry, all of the details were there, and I kind of let that sit for a little bit and let that the water dry out of there. Now I'm going to get my little hand sounder, and I'm just going to roughen up and distress this. The carpenter's box had a lot of little raised nicks here and there because it's a very old piece, and so I just wanted to kind of bring that out. I was really careful and trying not to go over the inlay designs because they were not sealed yet, and I noticed when I kind of went over the edge of one, it smeared. So I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't smearing those around, so I just kind of sanded around. So once all that was done, I wiped it all down, and then I grabbed my liquid patina, and I'm just a really fluffy, soft brush. Normally when I do inlays, I spray it instead of painting over it with a brush, but I wanted to see if I could do it, so I just grabbed the softest brush I had, and with loading my brush up generously and with a light hand went over those inlays, and I didn't have any problem. So I did do 2 coats over this because I am keeping this for myself. It's actually going to go in my kitchen, and it's going to hold my cutting boards and such, and my mixing spoons and things like that. So I wanted to make sure it would hold up. So once that that liquid patina dried, I grabbed my DIY wax paint, DIY wax in the white, and I'm going to do a coat over everything and then buff that back with the lint-free towel. I thought that the wax kind of picked up on all those little nooks and crannies and made everything kind of like meld together and gave a lot more detail. So once I got the white wax placed and wiped back, I then grabbed my clear wax just to push that back a little bit more and to make sure it gave it a little bit more like a richer look. So I was really happy with this. I thought that it came out great. It looks old and distressed. The color on it is beautiful. The inlays are great. And I was pleased. So this is how I'm gonna set it up in my kitchen, and I think it would help me save some room in there too, instead of having a bunch of canisters on the counter with all my mixing spoons and cooking spoons and such, and make it look great as well. I can tell that I'm going to do a lot more projects with this color. I think it's a great color. Really, really, really beautiful. It's like that perfect neutral. So now on to project 3. Project 3 are some candlesticks that I thrifted at the same time as these like wall plaque. But they're pretty heavy. They're made out of tin. And my idea is to use this for to make some plant stands out of this, to sit kind of like in front of my fireplace when we're not using it. I noticed that it had some wax drippings on it, so I just kind of grabbed like a dull scraper and I'm just scraping off that wax that was had dripped down the sides and also had collected in the top of that. So I grabbed some weathered wood, which is also one of my new favorites, and I'm gonna do 2 coats on these candlesticks. They're actually 2 different sizes that I have here, and just making sure that I get in all the nooks and crannies and all the details of the candlesticks. My idea for this is that I really love the look of rich wood. So I wanted them to look like actual wood plant stands. So I was going to give it a go with the weathered wood and do some other techniques to this after to kind of make it look like a old wood plant stand that I thrifted or something. So 2 coats, full coverage, letting dry between 2 coats. Once that was dry, I grabbed the dark and decrepit liquid patina, and I'm actually gonna do 1 good coat and then touch up where I need to. I think this combination together really makes it look like this is a wood piece, and it just brings out a richness that is just, I feel like it's just stunning. So I did both of them here. They're a little bit different, the bottoms of them and stuff, but they did come from a set. So once I got those 2 completely coated, what I wanted to do was fill the top up on there so that when I put the top the planter top on, that it would have something to grip onto. So my thought was to fill that up with resin. So here I just have the amazing cast in quick sit quick set resin. It sets in about 10 minutes or so, and I'm just kind of mixing up how much I think I'm going to need for that. I originally mixed it up in this little silicone cupcake liner, and that's probably not the best idea because it has all those little ridges in it. So later on I ended up pouring it into a plastic cup to mix it better. So I fill those up, both of them, and I'm gonna let those sit for 10-15 minutes to turn solid. And there you see it there. I wanted to kind of give the candlestick stick, the base there, a little more richer color. So I'm gonna grab my DIY dark wax, and I'm going to first do the top of the planter and just bring that newness look a little bit down, because it just looked too bright for me, and I wanted to kind of all mesh together. I didn't want it to look like it was two separate pieces. So I'm just kind of going over that and buffing it in lightly to make sure that I don't take all of it off of there. So, and then I grab the DIY dark wax again, and I'm going to go over the bases here with that. And once you do this, it just takes on a whole nother level of richness and depth, and it just looks so beautiful. And I just love it. It just looks so beautiful to me. So I'm going to cover those all the way around, both of them, and then I'm just going to take a soft cloth and buff that in for a little bit, which I forgot to show here. So Type Bond again. Looking back, I probably should have used some a glue gun as well, just to kind of give it that quick set. So I am not good at lining stuff up, so here I thought I could do it that way, and then I'm like, nope, not gonna do it. So I turn it all over and I measure it out with my tape measure, making sure I got it all in the center, and then I put something heavy on the top there and let it sit and dry. I just love this painting technique. I think it's so beautiful. It just looks so rich and pretty. Even if you had a old little wood table or something, and you went over it with the dark wax, I think it would give you the same effect. But just beautiful. I just love it. So project 4 is a little shelf sitter. I'm not exactly sure what it is. It looks like maybe it came off something, but I can't be 100% sure. So I'm going to do a similar technique that I did with the project before, but this time I'm actually going to use layered chocolate, because I just want to see if it gives a little bit different look. So I grabbed layered chocolate, and I am going to paint the whole thing with 2 coats, making sure that it dries between each coat. You see, like it has a little bit different color there. I wasn't quite sure that I was gonna like it. It just kind of looked to me like it was a random weird piece when it was 2 colors. But I think by the time I was done with it, I felt much better. I think it looked like more of like it was a piece for something. So I grabbed my Dark and Decrepit liquid patina, and again I'm going to do 1 solid coat, and then once that dries, do some touch-ups on it. This, to me, it gives us a very similar look. I don't know. I haven't decided which one I like better. If I like the weathered wood as the base or the layered chocolate as the base. They both are stunning. So I think either one would do. And again, once I get that placed and let it dry thoroughly, I'm going to grab the DIY dark wax and go over the whole thing. I will say I felt like this kind of, the layered chocolate kind of gave it a little more variation in tones in there. But once they both are just, I can't say enough, just beautiful. I love richness of dark wood. That's just my thing. So I can see myself doing a lot of this technique and other things that I make for my house. So I just layered that on there, buffing it in really well, and then I again grabbed a soft cloth and just kind of buffed that around after I let it sit for a minute or two. Here I just placed it with some books. You could use it as a bookend or on top of a stack of books, or you know, anything like that. It just is it adds some color to a shelf, or that rich element that you need to kind of bring a shelf vignette together. Project 5, I thrifted this owl some time ago, last year, I believe, before Halloween, I want to say, or fall. So I think I paid $10 for this and at a local thrift store here. So I'm just going to wipe it down. This is going to be an easy flip. I had to think long and hard how I wanted to paint this because I knew I wanted to do it, but I just wasn't sure how. So I grabbed the DIY Dixie Belle patina paint in bronze, and I'm going to give this one really good coat at first, making sure that I got everything covered, because there are like a lot of little crevices in here from the feathers, and I'm going to let that dry. When I go to do the second coat, I'm going to be pretty fast about this, so I want to lay down that paint fast because it does dry fairly quickly. So I'm just going to run through it. I'm not being too careful. I'm just kind of making sure I got everything. And then once I get that where I want it, I'm not going to wait for it to dry. I'm going to grab all of the Dixie Belle patina sprays, the green, the blue, and the yellow. And I'm just going to begin kind of with the yellow. I do the spray here, and my thought was that I just really want it to look like it kind of had been sitting out in the rain, dripping, you know, down on it. So that's why I'm kind of doing most of the stuff from the top and making sure that I get in all the little crevices, and using my little bottles here of the green and the blue to kind of make a dripping type of look for that. I felt like this came out really pretty. I'm really happy with the decision I made to do it in this. It just looks stunning with all the bronze and the greens and the blues there. It just looks so beautiful. Thanks for watching, guys, and spending your time with me. I really do appreciate it. I hope that you like my projects for today, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. It helps me out a lot, and I really do appreciate it. Share if you like, or if you know someone that might like these projects as well, and I will see you soon.